Are you a strong woman? Maybe you followed all of the rules. Years ago, you might have graduated from the top of your class. You're a professional, but you're still struggling, dealing with drama and trauma, and now you feel like your health is shaky. Well, come on in. This one is just for you. Okay, let's start off with 2 breaths in and a slow breath out. Okay. Now, the real reason that you're stressed is not what you think. It's not your boss, it's not your workload, it's not your kids. And it's not even just this political climate that we're in. Now, don't get me wrong, all of those things do contribute. But what I'm talking about is related to your childhood trauma and the fact that you have become addicted to your trauma. I see this pattern over and over again with my hypnosis clients. And when I look back, there are some common threads. Most of my hypnosis clients are professional women. They're hardworking, intelligent, educated. A lot of them are Black women. They grew up in homes where their parents loved them deeply and encouraged them towards high achievement. They were told, sometimes directly or indirectly, that they had to be twice as good as everyone else and twice as good as their counterparts just in order to stay above water. And here's what that does. It creates perfectionism, it creates anxiety, and it creates chronic stress. And while these traits do build resilience, they help us to achieve, they bring recognition as well as money and status, they also come at a really heavy cost. They're traumatic in nature. This overburdens our bodies, creates inflammation in the body, illness, and health disparities. And also burnout and neglect of self-care. It can be really tough to break this cycle because our bodies and our minds are so accustomed to being in this survival mode. It becomes natural. So much so that a lot of us find it very difficult to rest. And even when we want to rest, we are stuck in survival mode. Our bodies are stuck and addicted to this survival mode. So we're staying in this stressed, highly elevated state of being. So that you're always on guard, you're always alert. This trauma floods the body with stress hormones, with inflammation, and hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And this kind of cocktail of brain chemicals revs that body up, and it revs the nervous system into a state of hyperarousal. And release of these types of stress hormones revs up the brain's dopamine and norepinephrine systems. Now, both dopamine and norepinephrine are brain chemicals or neurotransmitters. And these brain chemicals or neurotransmitters are related to motivation and anticipation and are closely involved with the brain's reward system. So it feels good when you're hit with a little dopamine. So trauma in a backwards kind of way can actually stimulate our brain's reward system. And so we can, in a way, get addicted to our trauma. These chemicals wire our nervous system in a hypervigilant, like hyper-aroused type of state. And over time, the brain can start to expect to actually crave and desire or seek that state of arousal because it feels familiar, even though it's harmful. And this can look like being drawn into chaotic situations or generally unsafe dynamics. And that's why we get drawn back into the drama, drawn back into the chaos, even when we're saying that we want peace and serenity. It's important to note that Black families often will socialize or train their children very early on to the realities, and unfortunate realities of racism. This is what psychologists call preparation for bias. It's meant to protect us. It's done by well-meaning, loving parents, but it often comes at a price. Constant vigilance, the pressure to be twice as good. And yes, it builds strength, but it also creates chronic stress anxiety, and perfectionism. Here's something you might not know. Chronic stress actually makes menopause and perimenopause symptoms worse. Hot flashes, sleep problems, mood changes, they're all amplified when the body is stuck in fight or flight. So what do we do? How do we break out of this cycle? How do we break free from the trauma, the drama, or addiction to our trauma? The good news is that this childhood programming can be unlearned or reprogrammed in a different way. The subconscious mind is where our beliefs about ourselves are held. The subconscious mind is also where our memories are stored and where our emotions are processed. So we can retrain our subconscious mind to get out of survival mode and break free from our addiction to drama and trauma. As a gynecologist, intimate health coach, and hypnotherapist, I work with women over 40 who are navigating perimenopause and menopause and help them find peace and passion in their work, family, and intimate lives. There are 3 things that you can do to stop your addiction to trauma and get out of survival mode. Get out of the chronic stress cycle and start living with peace and passion. The first thing you need to do is understand what's going on in your mind and your body. When you know how stress hormones and trauma responses are affecting you, you can start shifting them. The second thing is that you'll want to get some personalized support to connect your mind and your body. You can do this with a good coach and hypnotherapist like myself. This type of support is going to really get you out of that survival mode and out of your addiction to trauma and drama. The third thing is to get into community. Get into community with other women who are striving for a life of peace as well as passion. Healing can be so much more powerful when we don't try to do it alone. You do not have to stay addicted to your trauma. You are worthy of peace, you are worthy of pleasure, and you can have both. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to this channel and share it with a friend. When you subscribe to this channel and share it with a friend, you will help more women who are in need to find this information and change their lives for the better. So go ahead, click the link, and subscribe today. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon.